Well, all things considered, start of the season's gone pretty well, considering we didn't actually want to be here at the start of the season. Since the Leeds game, we are unbeaten. We've only dropped points in one game, and today we have a chance of getting revenge against the team that knocked us out in the knockout stage of the Champions League last season, in Inter Milan. How you doing, everybody, and welcome to part 24 of Club 3 here on MyCareer on FM23. I'm Stu, thank you for watching today's video, where as mentioned we're going to be playing against Inter Milan in the league stage of the Champions League, and then we're going to have a Premier League game against Everton. And if you are excited to see how those two games go, do not forget to leave a like on the video for me and subscribe so you don't miss any of the lovely Football Manager nonsense coming out of this face right here. Since you were last with us, as previously mentioned, things are going well. Just on this screen you can see it's been a bit of a focus of mine over the last couple of seasons just to see how we're doing compared to the rest of the league. At the moment in the Premier League, best team for goals scored. That's been a trend over the last few seasons. We're good goal scorers. Second best defence in the league at the moment. That's the only thing separating ourselves and Arsenal at the top of the Premier League. It is literally goal difference. It's a goal difference of 2. If you have a closer look at the league table, you can see that it is the defence that has let us down. Only by 3 goals, though. We've scored 1 more goal than them, actually. So really, it doesn't matter that much. And actually, our recent form has been better than Arsenal. So we could see a little switcheroo at some point in the near future. But results-wise, things have been good. So that Leeds game was the last one you saw. Obviously, we had the technical issue with the Newcastle game. Run out of memory on my computer. That was embarrassing. But since then, as you can see, results have been good. Battered West Brom 5-0, beat Dinamo Zagreb in the Champions League 2-1, beat Crystal Palace 4-1 in the league, 4-2, sorry, not 3-1, I'm thinking of another result, 4-2 against Spurs in the Carabao Cup third round, Orlando Badiashile with 2 and February with the goals there. We snuck past Wolves at 1-0 on this game. I got a bit concerned here because our play was like, we were having chances, but we were wasting quite a few of them. But also, defensively, as you can see, there's a run there of conceding goals, which I wasn't too happy with. We did beat Nice 3-0, which was nice. But for the Arsenal game, we experimented. We went to a 4-3-3. I'll be honest with you, it looked solid enough, but chance creation didn't do quite as well as I thought. We did use it for some of the Nice game, actually. It did okay. So I'd put a quick friendly in here just because we had a few players who hadn't played a lot of games. Pinamonti being one of them. Orlando's form has been so good. I mean, scored in the EFL Cup game. Didn't score in the first game of the season, but scored a hat-trick the next game, 2 games after. Had a couple of games where he didn't score, then scored a hat-trick again against West Brom. Didn't score in the Champions League against Zagreb. Didn't score in the next Premier League game. Did score in the EFL Cup. Didn't score in the next 2 games, 3 games even, but then scored a hat-trick against Bournemouth. So he's been a bit on and off, but he's been good enough that he's kept Pinamonti out of the team. So we used that friendly to get him some game time and some goals. He did score some goals. He's also scored some goals for the under-21s as well. So hopefully he'll be good to go if we need him. Lethan and Murray as well, not playing a lot of football. We're trying to get Murray a bit more game time this season, but results have been good. So let's get to the game against the team who, remember, did knock us out last season of the Champions League. I was heartbroken with the result that we had. Jay Lethan, you are not supposed to be in the team. I have moved you for Cole Palmer. Why is that not updated? There it is. Your 11 for the game against Inter Milan. It is Hoyenhal in goal, Livramento, Fofana, Badiashile and Thomas in defence, Veloso and Lavia in the middle, with Palmer, Cucciara and Shelder up supporting Orlando up front. Let's get to the game, shall we? It's an interesting one with Veloso in the midfield. We've discussed using him as a playmaker before. I don't start him that often in bigger games, but I want Cucciara on the pitch. He's a good attacking midfielder. And as good as Tapia is, and Tapia is good, make no mistake about it, I do like Veloso in that midfield. He just feels like he has a bit more of a spark. It frustrates me that Tapia didn't, when we first bought him, that he didn't seem to really take to the idea of being the ball-winning midfielder. He just didn't seem to jive with that role whatsoever because his stats are perfect for it. He's great as a deep line playmaker, don't get me wrong. But stats-wise, if you look at him, he's just got the ability to be a great ball winner or a defensive-minded midfielder more than a playmaker. So it's frustrating because my ideal midfield too would be him as the ball-winning midfielder and Veloso as the playmaker, but obviously we don't have that. But we've built the team around Tapia as a playmaker. The balance of the team works better with him there. But Veloso does play quite well there as well. I mean, I've jinxed it now. He's going to play terribly today. But he does play quite well there normally. But having him and Cucciara in the team, it's difficult because we can only play one of them. And obviously, I tried to sign, I can't remember, Capital, who eventually went to Manchester United. If we'd have signed him, it would have been even more of a problem. But these are nice problems to have, don't get me wrong. And Veloso apparently at the moment having a good game, along with Lavia. Apparently we're bossing the midfield, but that is the only thing we are bossing. Their goalkeeper apparently keeping him in the game. We've had an equal amount of chances there, but they are bossing possession, but we seem to be doing more with it, at least on XG anyway. But I think we're going to get to half-time at 0-0. I will take a draw as a success in this game, because we saw the quality difference in the return leg last time out. So I wouldn't be too upset if we didn't win this game, but I don't want to lose it. It's not the end of the world if we do lose it, but I don't want to lose it. Orlando hasn't had a good game, so we are actually going to bring Pinamonti on. He has recently scored a goal for the under-21, so he is in a bit of good form. Cole Palmer not having the best game at all so far. We'll bring the pace of Jay Leathan on, and Livramento not having a good game. Jimenez is coming on. These two are having a weird kind of thing at the moment, where whoever I start has a bad game, and the person who comes on has a better game. But it's not. It doesn't carry over to the next game if I swap them around. It's whoever starts. It doesn't matter which one of them it is. But we'll just freshen things up with these guys. I think that's going to be the wise thing to do. I am just going to double check whether they've made any substitutions. I don't think they have. They haven't. All of the things that I put on here have cleared. I put player instructions on here and they're not on here anymore. Give me a moment. Okay, I've updated that. We'll get into the game and we'll see whether we can make something happen. We're going to demand more from the boys. We okay in the first half, but we can do better. We've obviously shown enough in the game so far, with our XG being as high as it is. We've had enough chances as well. We are at home as well, so taking home advantage would be the right thing to do. But let's just try and press them within an inch of their life and try and get the ball off of them. And we're looking like we're doing that there. Kuchara just so close to winning possession there, just showing that intelligence getting in the way. And Lavia doing well there, the club captain as well. Every time I think Lavia is done at this club, he does something. I'm not suggesting that's it, but he just manages to do enough to keep in the team. Kuchara's through here, by the way. That's a poor effort at a shot, though, and Pinamonti was in the middle there. Pinamonti does need a first-team goal in a competitive game. He hasn't had one since the opening league game of the season, actually. So he needs something to get him back into things. I mean, we're running out of time here, so I am going to fire the boys up. We're on attacking, by the way. I don't know whether I put that to attacking for the last game and I've left it on, but we are on attacking, which I think is advised really. But I am going to swap a couple of things around. We are going to bring on Diego Tapia in the middle, and we are going to put Veloso further forward because he is a better player further forward. Fafana's not actually had the best game today, but I'm going to leave him on the pitch. I think Ward-Prowse might come on. I mean, I was going to bring him on for Lavia, but Lavia's having a really good game. But then set pieces. I think, yeah, bring on for set pieces. Ward-Prowse, by the way, starting to drop down. He's looking like he'd be better as a deep line playmaker, but we'll bring him on as his normal box-to-box role. But it'd be interesting that his best position now is deep line playmaker, because that's the position I originally signed him to play in. So it's interesting that he's kind of fallen into that. I mean, it is looking like we might be going through this. Oh, it's a late free kick. It's a late free kick for Inter. But Fafana manages to, well, I say clear it. Clears it as far as Diné. Diné gets it to Bruno Guimaraes. Bruno Guimaraes has broken our hearts before, but Hoyenhal makes the save. I have been very hyperbolic with Hoyenhal in the past. He is not the best goalkeeper in the world. He's a good goalkeeper. He's a European Championship winning goalkeeper. But we need to remember there are better goalkeepers out there than him. But he is a good one. He is a very good goalkeeper. And it's no surprise he's been as good as he has been for us. He's not excellent. He's not the best in the world. But Pinamonti might have just won it while I'm talking about the goalkeeper. It's the 87th minute. He's getting checked for VAR. The flag did not go up. And the goal has been given. And Pinamonti, in a big game, to get revenge against Inter Milan from last season, has scored his second of the season. Jimenez gets it to substitute Jay Leathan, and Jay Leathan picks out his fellow substitute, Andrea Pinamonti, the young kid who's come up through the Southampton system, to the old veteran who is heading towards the end of his career here at Southampton. I'm not suggesting he's going to retire anytime soon, but he's probably not going to be staying at the club for much longer, really. It'll be a race to see who leaves first, us or him. But it's a wonderful cross, and Pinamonti, he's not necessarily the best in the air. He can do it in the air, but it's not his best attribute. But he manages to get it in the back of the net, and it is 1-0. And we have a bit of time left, possibly to get a second, or for Inter to try and get an equaliser. But Joe Veloso has broken through here. Pinamonti's on the ball again, and Pinamonti just puts it in the path of the goalkeeper. If he'd have gone far post, he probably would have got a second, and we'd have got a second. But it doesn't matter, because we've won the game. 1-0. Revenge has been had. I'll take that all day long. It's good to see Andrea Pinamonti get a goal. Good to see Jay Leathan get an assist as well. Lovely stuff. Poor game from Wesley Fofana. He's ended up with a 6.6, but at one point he did drop down to a 6.3, which is not ideal. But we're level, top of the Champions League table, on 9 points with Real Madrid. I'm assuming it's going to be something random in the stats that's put them ahead of us, because we've got the same goal difference as them as well. But 2.4 million into the kitty, and we've also got a couple of title players, Veloso and Badiashile, so we do need to rest those boys before the game against Everton. We might mess them out completely and give them a bit of a rest, but what a performance that was from the boys. Orlando, again, he scored a lot of goals. He does just go a bit anonymous every now and then, though, and he did in that game. Have a look. Hat-trick, Baron spell, goal. Couple of games where nothing really happens. Hat-trick, nothing, assist, 2 goals, 3 goals, assist. 2. Okay, he had a really good run there. But he does have these kind of gaps, especially here, where he went a bit anonymous. I mean, obviously, one of these games he was brought on, the rest of them he was subbed off. He's completed 90 minutes only a few times, actually. So, I don't know. He's a bit here and there, but he has scored a bag full of goals, and he will only get better and better. So, happy days. Right. Next game, Everton. Time for the game against Everton in the Premier League. It's still the home game, and it's against a team who find themselves in mid-table. So we are going to be hoping that we can do something. I'm just going to make one tactical adjustment, which I forgot to do. Go to fullbacks instead of centre-backs, because they're playing with 2 up top. This is your 11 for the game against Everton. It's Hoyenhal in goal, Jimenez, Fofana, Guardian and Thomas in defence, Tapia and Lavia in the middle, with Lethan, Kuchiyara and Shelder up, supporting Orlando up front. We are giving an opportunity to Jay Lethan. We're going to keep Orlando in there just because, again, he's usually kind of a bit on and off. So if he has a bad game, usually he comes back 1 or 2 games later with a good game. So we'll give him a chance today. But we know Pinamonti has got the goods in him to get the results. I've gone against my assistant's advice there, so we'll see what happens. But yeah, we know we're good enough to beat this lot. So let's go out there and do it. We've kept everything on attacking as well. So we can get the job done. But yeah, we have rested Veloso and also Badiashile. They're not in the squad at all. We've taken them out completely. Given them 5 days rest, so they should be back for the next game after this. I would have given them a week off, but I don't want to have them missing for too long because they are both very important players. But we do get underway. It's an 8th place at the moment for Everton. If they do get a draw today, I think they're 9th, 10th, 11th, something like that. If not, well, they'll be like 10th probably, because Chelsea currently are 15th, so 9th on 15 points rather. So I don't know. Either way, I'm not too sure. Man United and Man City, by the way. Have you seen that result? 5-4 to Man United. Probably haven't seen it because I think my head's in the way. My goodness me, what a game that looks like it's been. Right, Kuchiyara has the ball, drifts out right to the right hand side, but College manages to get the ball off him. Lethan gets it back to Kuchiyara though, into Tapia. Tapia runs into the box. He's gone for the shot actually, and it's a horrific own goal. Patterson just thumps it into Meslier, and Meslier he ricochets off of him. He's got nothing he can do about it whatsoever. Also, interestingly, Bournemouth currently losing against Arsenal, but they've just scored, so it's 2-1. It's early to think about the title race. However, at that moment, Patterson, it's poor from him, and Meslier has no chance at all to stop that, and we do lead by a 1-0 without even having a shot on target. That is impressive. That is very impressive. I would, however, like us to get a shot on target at some point, but Verscharen has got in. We have got the man over, and Hoyenhal does manage to hold on to the ball nicely, and we go again. Thomas now looking for shoulder up. It's a good pass, but it's not one we're going to see the end of because the highlight ends. Yeah, United winning 5-4. That must have been the early game, which is utter nonsense. And yeah, Arsenal currently winning only by the 1 goal, though, 2-1. Keep an eye on that because goal difference could come into play as well. If we can score a couple of goals today, we could find ourselves tying with Arsenal, if not going ahead of them. I'm going to say we're delighted, even though we're not really that delighted because it's only the 1 goal. I'm going to tell those guys that they're not playing well enough. I'm going to tell these guys they're not playing well enough as well. Guardian really has had a rough season so far, which is a bit concerning. I am actually, I'm trying to think, is he a ball player or is he? He's down as a ball player. I'm going to change him to a central defender because I think if we give him a little bit less responsibility, I think it will help him a little bit. Fewer risks, close down risk, is on shorter passing already. We'll leave it at that. That should do the job. Right, let's go into the second half and let's see what we can do, shall we? Why am I going to the FM logo? That's ridiculous. Come on, boys. Let's do more. Demand more from the boys. Come on. Thomas has had a poor game as well, actually. Lethan not doing that well either. So we will freshen things up probably between 60 and 70 minutes and just see if we can get things going. Arsenal have scored another one though. So their goal difference actually is going to increase by a goal. So it is important that we can win this game by more than 1 goal just so they don't get a ridiculous lead on us. Again, it's funny because this game at the moment, touch wood, our goal scoring is worse than Arsenal's, but our defence is better. Go figure. Go figure. But it's good. I was a bit annoyed when we conceded against Bournemouth, actually, because they aren't doing very well in this league at all, and we conceded that goal. But seeing Arsenal concede against them does make me feel a little bit better about it. I was going to just blame it on our patchy defence, even though we've obviously signed for Fafana to kind of help improve it. Obviously, he's not playing today. Right, Lavia gets it to Tapia. Tapia with the big ball over, looking for Orlando. It's a beautiful pass, but Orlando messes it up, and that is substitute o'clock. Orlando, have I got you set to shoot less often? I don't know whether I do. I have got you set to shoot less often, and you still did that. Well, that's concerning, to be honest. That is concerning. Right, Jay Leather's coming on. We're going to bring Hector Febre on. Give him some football. That car just went past beeping its horn. That's really helpful when I'm recording. Jimenez, again, that right back position at the moment, a little bit cursed. Not sure why. I mean, both full back positions aren't doing very well, so we are going to change both of them. Livramento is coming on, as is Anning. Bring those both on, and I think we'll leave it at that for now. Yeah, we'll leave it at that for now. Go make a difference, boys, all three of you. We've got one player who's going to hopefully help out in the attack, and two players who are going to help shore up the defence. Just going to fire the boys up, and hopefully just sneak another goal. One more goal, and I'd be content, because we'll still be in and around Arsenal's goal difference. We won't be losing any ground on it, possibly, but I would like to score at least 2 goals and just improve it a bit. And Orlando with the chip, and Orlando does get a goal. What a lovely goal that is as well. Little chip over. Couldn't do the simple thing earlier, but he can do the really complicated thing. And it is 2-0. And as it stands, we are matching Arsenal's goal difference in their game, and it will still be a 2-goal swing to Arsenal. Still got time to get a third, though. Of course, this all is whether we can keep a clean sheet or not, but what a pass that is from Tapia. I was talking about Tapia being a defensive midfielder in the last game, but how well he suits being a playmaker, even though he doesn't get a lot of assists, certainly doesn't get a lot of goals, but that was a really nice assist, and Orlando did the best he could with it. I mean, this is perfect. Just a couple of touches and bang. I mean, that, to me, looks offside. I'll be honest, that looks offside to me. I'm happy it wasn't given. I'd been fuming if it was given. That did look offside. Right, Verscharen with the big ball in, and Hoyenhal holds on to it. Good chance for Everton there. Cannot take anything for granted. Everton do have some talent in their team. Dominic Calvert-Lewin is a good striker in FF. Dwight McNeil does tend to play quite well. I mean, Orlando's not winning that at all, but the ball does fall to Kuchiyava. Shoulder up, Kuchiyava, Orlando. Heavy touch. Goes for the shot. Can't quite make it happen. I did think there might have been a sneaky offside in there. There obviously wasn't. But we will be making a change, and I'm working out who to make the change for. Thinking Kuchiyava could come off. We've only got really Lewis Murray who can come on, who I don't really like playing as an attacking midfielder, but he is a good player. So, as well as Kuchiyava has played... Do we keep Kuchiyava on? Because he was involved in that last phase of playing. He did really well, actually. So, no, we'll keep Kuchiyava on. We'll bring Lavia off for Veenstra. Give him some football. And I'll make a late change for James Ward-Prowse can come on for Tapia. Because Ward-Prowse apparently is now better suited to being a deep line playmaker. So we'll give him a chance in that role. But it's looking good so far. Bournemouth have scored another. It's 3-2 in the Bournemouth-Arsenal game, which means we would be closing the gap, and Shelderup has made it 3. So I think, if my maths is correct, we'll actually be equaling their goal difference as things stand. Everything's coming up Millhouse. I might have to call this episode that. And I might have to dig out the photo I used. I've already used it for an episode in this series. But I might have to use that photo again. I don't care whether it's repeating it. I do love that saying. Everything's coming up Millhouse. Right, final change. We are going to make it. We're going to bring Tapia off. He's had a great game. Absolutely superb. And James Ward-Prowse is going to come on. It's a shame we don't have room to bring Lewis Murray on as well. But I want to bring Ward-Prowse on. Likely to be his final season for the club. I'm sure it's the final season on his contract with us. Yeah, 2031 will be the end of this season. We won't be renewing it, sadly, just because he's not going to get any better. He had that one period where all of his stats did suddenly go up, which was fantastic, but it's unlikely that that's going to happen again. He's been a legend. He's won a Premier League. He's won an FA Cup. He's won a League Cup. He's won trophies with us. He's been in the World Cup winning England squad as well. I mean, what more could you want? What more could you want? Stephen Ferguson, he looks a little bit like Sean Dyche in that photo. Kuchiyava still wanted by Liverpool. Herald apparently is close to triggering 20 appearances for Wolfsburg, which would mean they have to pay us $5 million. I will take that happily. But yeah, that's the result. We'll give a little pass on the head to Orlando because he ended up playing quite well. And as you can see, a result of that match, although we're level on games with Arsenal, level on wins, level on draws, level on losses, level on goal difference, level on points, we are top, and I'm assuming it's because of goals scored. Let's have a quick double check. I'm sure it will be. Yeah, and we've only conceded 1 goal less than them at the moment. So if we have a look at the Premier League in general, despite the goals conceded, he's still not top, is Hoyenhall. Aaron Ramsdale is still there. Just the 2 clean sheets he hasn't kept. But then I don't think Hoyenhall has actually started every Premier League game. I think I got frustrated with him in one. And I think we ended up starting Sam Roberts. No, we didn't actually. No, I was going to, and then I changed my mind on it. The only one he hasn't been in is the game against Spurs and also that friendly. Because obviously he was on international duty. So, yeah, Hoyenhall's still having a good season though. We had to promise him that we're not going to find him because we did upset him a little bit. But there's the table. There's the stats for the league. Orlando is the 2nd top goal scorer, joint now with Haaland, and the 2nd best player in the league. Also got the most player of the match awards. So, it's obviously very important. Right, when are we going to be back? That is the question. I think we'll go through November. We'll come back in December at some point. And I think we can get through Norwich in the EFL Cup. If we have an EFL Cup quarter-final around here, we might come back for that possibly. Champions League against Rangers, we could come back for that, but we might do what we normally... I mean, Barcelona and Ajax in the Champions League in January. We keep getting Barcelona. What is with that? We might come back for one of those games, to be fair, in that video. So we might skip Rangers here. We'll come back for one of the games in and around here. I'm trying to think who would be the nicest. I mean, Liverpool's a bit early in the month. I think we'll come back somewhere in the middle here, and we'll tie it in with the EFL Cup game if that does come up. But that is going to do it for today's video. So until then, thank you so much for watching. If you do enjoy the video, please do not forget to leave a like on there for me. And subscribe to the channel as well, so you can see me nearly stuff up my words like I did just then. And you can see more Football Manager content like the one you've just liked and hopefully enjoyed. I've been Stu, you guys have been awesome, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.